Hello, everybody. Amanda Davis here, Avon Independent Sales Representative and National Sales Leader for Avon. And I wanted to say welcome to Team Amazing. And I just wanted to welcome you as a new representative to the team. And I wanted to say a little bit behind the name. So I came up with Amazing because that was actually my nickname in my honor fraternity while I was in college. And so I thought about that and I said, well, and not just that, but I really want my team to be amazing. And so we do that by working together and doing what we can to be a team and also being helpful to each other and those kind of things. And that's something that is really important to me, that I feel that I am being the best mentor that I can be, that I feel that I am putting materials out there for you to take advantage of, in addition to everything that you can find on the internet. I mean, there's a lot of representatives out there putting out materials for free, as well as Avon putting out their materials. But at the same time, when you have a guide, which is what your mentor is for, it does help you to be more successful. So I just want to be the best mentor that I can be to guide my new representatives to their own successes, like I feel that I have had with my business. So that segues into a little bit about me. Just so you know, I joined Avon back in August of 2011. I was a full-time student in college looking to earn money around going to school full-time. I had had trouble finding something that would allow me to set my own schedule. And when I came across a ad, which I now know was actually an ad for Avon, where they use it to get leads to be able to distribute them to representatives. But it was an ad that talked about being an Avon representative and having your own business, but setting your own hours. And that was what appealed to me. That was the one, I saw set your own hours, and I said, And then I did talk to my mom about it. My mom was like, Avon, Avon. And at that time it was $10 to sign up. So it was just like, well, for $10, what do I have to lose? Let me try it. And the rest is kind of history. So I currently work Avon around being a early childhood teacher full-time, Monday through Friday. And I started pushing my online sales in 2013 because I was working full-time. And since then, my online success has steadily started to grow. And now about 75% of my business is online, and the other 25% is serving my local customers. I have built my customer list primarily through my online efforts, including some of my local customers have actually found me online. And also, once you get to a certain level, Avon will, if Avon knows that you're going to be paying your bill and doing what you're supposed to do, and if you opt into it, Avon will actually share you in what's called the Find a Rep tool to people local to your area. So I have gotten a couple people that way as well. And then my vendor events that I've done, craft fairs and yard sales, I started doing that back in 2012, actually. And so since 2012, I have done yard sales and craft fairs, and some of them I've done multiple years. And I have really found success with that because then people are coming to you. And yes, I have paid money for those. And no, I haven't always made that money back. But at the same time, just the more you can get yourself out in the community, whether it be that you are doing something like a vendor event where you're spending money, or just getting yourself out in your community, locally, that's going to be, a way to really grow your business, letting people know that, hey, there is an Avon rep in town. And I was awarded the Spirit of Avon Award. And basically what that is it's saying, like, you're willing to share with people, no matter if they're on your team or not. And so I said that I got that for my willingness to share helpful information with all representatives. And that actually happened back in 2015 that I got that. But when I got that, I was like super surprised that I was getting that. It was my first President's Recognition Club gala. You'll learn more about that later, and it was my first awards gala, we'll put it that way. And I went into it not really expecting to get any of the additional awards. And so then to get the Spirit of Avon Award was just, it was amazing. And I treasure that award because not everybody gets that. So, and the other thing is too, with the Spirit of Avon, like I said, my willingness to share helpful information with everyone. It doesn't really matter if you're on my team or not. I want, you know, you to find my information helpful. And that's why I do put out tip videos every couple weeks for the campaign. I maintain a Facebook page that's a tip-based page. And I also do blog posts and stuff. And, you know, anyone is welcome to be viewing these videos. And, you know, I hope you do find them helpful because while I'm doing them for my team members, they are public videos for a reason, because I want people to realize that, you know, they have some support available out there to them. So, and then the other thing is I have also received numerous other prizes throughout my years, just, you know, because of my effort put into my business. And I share that not to brag, but just to let you know that I am established. I do see myself as being somebody that's successful. And I want you to feel that way too over the coming months, as well as just from the start. I want you to be successful from the start because I've learned a lot in the last 7 years. So, and you have your starter kit. Now what? Now, I didn't put an image of a starter kit, and the reason being because you could have a, you know, based on whatever kit you chose, you have different materials, but you all the kits come with products, samples, brochures, and then most of them are going to come with like additional incentive paperwork and that kind of thing too. And so you want to kind of look at what's in your kit and what's there. As far as the products, you can get information on your e-store. You can also get information in the brochures. And so the same with the samples. You can get information on what the sample is for in your brochures and on your e-store. And that's actually, those two sources are going to be your main sources for product information, particularly your e-store, because there's like a whole description thing on the e-store. And then if you got your full kit, you most likely in your kit got brochures, and it may not be this cover, but you got some brochures. That is your customer book. You got, you may have received, because I know in pretty much every order that I place, I get free outlet books. And these are our clearance books. So every outlet now clearly states on it, well, usually it's pretty clear. Sometimes it's bigger than this, but it does say on it somewhere, while supplies last. So it's very important that people realize that the outlet is our clearance. And so there's a chance that A, something in this outlet is not available anymore, and B, that, you know, well, basically that's what it is, that it may not be available. This is not guaranteed availability. Because it's while supplies last. Now, our brochure is not guaranteed availability, but most of the stuff in the brochure is fine. The only thing you really have to usually worry about with the brochure is fashion and jewelry sometimes goes a little bit faster than they think it will go. And so that sometimes becomes an issue. But that's where you can also encourage people to shop online, because when they shop online, they are going to know if something's available or not. And if they shop through you, there is a system that's going to tell you if something's available or not. But at the same time, you know, they don't know that unless you're sitting there putting in the order while you're talking to them. And so it's good for you to, if you can get the people to order online, get them to order online. But even if you can't, you know, if somebody orders something and it's not available, you need to let them know that as soon as possible. Obviously, they won't be charged for it. And you won't be charged for it. So if you're collecting your money up front, which you really should be as a new representative, and you know you've collected money for something that is not available anymore, you need to make sure that that money, before you do anything with it, is set aside so you can give it back to the customer, or also offer to them that they can have that credit to their next order. But you need to make sure that that money is set aside in case they do want the cash refund. So even if they wrote you a check or something like that, like, you need to make sure that that money does not get spent. And that's why it's important to try to keep your Avon money separate from your regular money that you're using, because you want to make sure that you have enough money to pay Avon when you place your order. And you also want to make sure that you have the customer's money in case something needs to be returned. Now, the other thing is, and I don't want to get too much into this as a new rep, but we do offer money back guarantees within 90 days. So if anyone wants to return something to you within 90 days, you have to honor that. Avon will credit your account so that you are able to ship it back to Avon. We actually currently are getting one free return shipment every month. I will say in my 7 years, I have gotten very few returns, although I have gotten some. And the other thing is too, depending on the customer, you're going to have customers that either want their money back, or you're going to have customers that may be okay to have a credit on their next order. So I do actually have a lot of customers that are fine with the credit with their next order because they love Avon, and so they're okay with that. But the other thing is you have to just be prepared in case somebody does want their money back, because that's kind of the purpose of the 90-day guarantee. Your online orders, Avon handles that for you, so don't worry about that. But your people that you're ordering with face-to-face, you need to kind of just be ready in case that happens. But like I said, 9 times out of 10, I really don't get returns that much at all, because usually people get it and they love it. And, it's more likely to happen with fashion and jewelry and well, fashion. Fashion is the most that I get returned. And that's because somebody orders something and then it turns out it doesn't fit them. But other than that, for the most part, I don't get things returned. But anyway, so familiarize yourself with what's in the kit. I got off on a little bit of a tangent there. We have the outlets, and then you may have gotten some free sales flyers. So these are just, Avon will do additional little sales flyers every campaign for the most part. It's not every campaign, but it's every campaign for the most part. And then your demo book, if you got it, is called the What's New. Now, if you did not get this in your starter kit, that's okay. It is viewable online, and they also will send you the current What's New in your order that you place. And so, but what the What's New is this is a demo book for representatives. And when we have new things come out, we are able to get them ahead of time. So like this is the 18 What's New. So this was able to be ordered out of in campaigns 16 and 17. The 19 What's New will be available in campaigns 17 and 18. And then the 20 What's New will be available in campaigns 18 and 19. And so these two are the current What's News that you'd be operating with at this point in the year. Of course, if you're watching this video at a later date, your situation may be different. But either way, the What's New is the demo book, the preview books for representatives. It's got product information. It allows you the opportunity to order stuff before it comes out in the brochure for the customers. And it also offers you the opportunity to get stuff at a discount as long as your order is $50 or more. And it also allows you to, there's education in here, like representative information and tip videos and tips from representatives, product information, that kind of thing. And there's also your skincare, there's some sample product numbers and that kind of thing in there. So the What's New is for you as a representative. And some people choose to share the What's New with customers, but really you want to try to stick to sharing the brochures in your e-store with your customers. And then the What's New is for you and you as a representative. Although sometimes people will use the What's New to allow people to pre-order. The other thing that people might do is if they're trying to reward a customer that's ordering from them often, they might say, hey, I'm going to let you order from the demo book because I'm giving you a reward. I'm going to let you have a discount. You could use the demo book as a recruiting tool too, letting people know, hey, if you want this cost on stuff, then you can be a representative and this is how you sign up. That I would say is definitely a good option, because then not only are you showing somebody what's upcoming, but you're also letting them know, see that cost? That's the representative cost. And that's, you can have that cost if you become a rep and save money. So that can be a benefit to being a rep. And then I say any additional paperwork that comes with your kit, just, you want to go through everything. And your kit most likely came with the Getting Started booklet. If for some reason it did not, it is available online on the youravon.com. But basically that booklet is going to just kind of walk you through getting started with your business and doing the things that you need to do. So you do want to try to go through it, as well as start the new rep training on Avon U. And you want to kind of go through that training at your own pace. And it really does get you, you know, the Avon U new rep training kind of walks you through, like, this is what you should do in your first campaign and that kind of thing. And you most likely already registered at your avon.com, but if you didn't, do it as soon as possible. And also make sure that you set up your e-store if you didn't do that already. Although most representatives do those last two things before they even get their kit. So, but if for some reason you're watching this and you've gotten your kit, but you have not done those two things, do those two things, because they're very important. And then I said to kickstart your business, you can earn $1,000 in your first 90 days with the Kickstart program for new reps that's available as of the filming of this video. And while there are the sales goals, you want to shoot for about $50 over the goal each time, so you can do your best to make sure you're meeting and also exceeding those goals. Plus, the more you sell, the more you earn. And another reason for the $50 over is if you have things that happen to come back as while supplies last items, and they happen to come back as not available, which you actually will know before you place your order if it's not available, but you don't get the sales credit for it if it's not available. So when you shoot for that extra $50, you're kind of giving yourself a buffer in case something isn't available for some reason. Your first campaign is guaranteed 40% earnings on everything, but you really should be trying to shoot for an order of $150, the goal for the second campaign, because for one thing, that's how you're making, you know, the more you sell, the more you're earning. If you're putting in a $50 order, you're not really earning that much. So the more, you know, you want to try to shoot for that 150, which is 10 people spending $15, which is definitely very doable, especially when our average customer order size is $25 and the average size for online orders is $40 because of the free shipping offer for $40 orders at the online store. And then I just said to see your Kickstart flyer for additional information for your future campaigns. And then part of getting to that $150 order is you can utilize the Daily Care Collection, which is valued at $65 and available to new reps for $19.99. You will not have it at that cost ever again after your first 7 campaigns, your first 90 days. This is available within all of your first 7 campaigns to you and your customers, but share it with your customers. Challenge yourself to try to sell at least 8 of them in your first order, which will give you that $150 order. And the other thing is too, if you're challenging yourself to sell 8, you sell 8, and you're also selling stuff out of the brochure, or like if they're shopping your online store, they get the Daily Care Collection and maybe they get some extra stuff, so they get that $40 order so they can get something for free. They're free shipping. You know, that kind of thing. Like, it's a really good way to build your sales in the beginning. And this is an awesome value with stuff that people know and are familiar with. And you do, or you should have received Skin So Soft samples in your kit, so you can use those for people to kind of get the scent of the Skin So Soft. And then Moisture Therapy is fragrance free, so let people know that. And then I said other tips besides the Daily Care Collection, something you can do that's kind of fun is to take a picture and or do a video with your kit and do what's called an unboxing video. And I said / images, like you can take pictures of the different stuff. Or like take a picture of you with the box and then take a picture of you with, or take a picture of the kit contents or something like that. Video works really well if you think you can do a video. Because then you can like come on and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I just started my own Avon business because of whatever your reason is. I need extra money for the bills, or I'm trying to get Christmas money ahead of time, or I'm trying to have a vacation with my kids and I want to have enough money extra to be able to do that. I need to pay for my child's whatever activities they're doing, dance, karate, whatever it is. Because attaching some kind of story to it, people will resonate with that. You know, okay, well, they started Avon, but why do they do Avon? And the other thing too is if you use the products and stuff, you can always also, your story could be you really love the products and you want to share them with others. The other thing is to, with the unboxing, the fun part about an unboxing is like you're going through what's in the box. So you're showing people what came in your kit, the products, the samples, kind of talking a little bit about it, what you do know. The other thing too is, you know, you can kind of maybe flip through the brochure and show them some of your favorite stuff, or, you know, you can make it your own. That's, you know, there's no true requirement for it. It's just kind of a fun thing to do as a new rep. That and then actually you can really do an unboxing anytime you get an Avon order. So, but it's still really fun to do as a new rep. And then I mentioned the Facebook or Instagram story, and actually both platforms will allow you to do video or images, or you could do like a combination with the story. And even with the story, you could do something like, you know, I have news, stay tuned. And then like the next thing, maybe a little while later, you could be like, okay, this is the news. I'm a new Avon rep and I just got my order, you know. Or not just that, but like you could say, I'm going to go live at whatever time you plan to go live with some news, you know, that kind of thing. Or you could just skip that part altogether, go live or take your pictures and just say, I'm so excited that I'm a new Avon rep. And this, you know, this is some of the stuff that came in my kit. And I know, like Instagram, a lot of times the Instagram stories you'll see like where somebody does a video, and then because it only lets them fill for so long, like they'll talk for a second, and then the next story will be a little bit more, and the next story might be a little bit more. And while, you know, and that's okay, don't get me wrong, but you can also do like Instagram live, you can do just Facebook live. The story is kind of cool because in like your Facebook lives, you can actually post them to your stories too easily. Instagram live, I don't quote me that can be posted to a story, but I know videos can be posted, short little video clips. But like for the shorter clips, what I would do is I would do something like maybe, you know, show one product at a time, and you could be like, you know, and I don't want to give an example because your products are going to kind of vary, but maybe it's a lipstick. So you could be like, oh, check out this lipstick and look at the shade, you know, and then your next one might be, oh, this is the, my skin so soft samples, you know, I don't know, but you, like I said, make it your own. And a lot of the fun of the modern world is that we do have all of this social media stuff following, you know, and I know that it's not for everybody, but it is a tip. The other thing is obviously, you know, sharing your materials with your friends and your family. You can do that casually, you know, you can do that with a party, and like a Facebook party, or a regular like launch party in your home or in somebody else's home. Now, I didn't go into too much more detail with the parties on this slide because we all pretty much know how a party is. Obviously, Avon is a business that you do not have to have a party. You could even do a brochure party, which is where you give someone a brochure and you challenge them to try to get you some orders. And then maybe you give them some kind of reward for sharing the brochure with people that they know and getting you orders. Like you might just give them something small for free or a discount or something like that. Don't give them too much of a discount just for the fact that you want to make sure you're still making some money because that's why you're here. But you could always do something like a 10% discount if they get you $100 in orders, or you could do something like, you know, they get you a couple orders, and you could just give them something small like a free lip balm, which is a minimal cost, or a hand cream or something like that that's minimal cost to you. Just as a, or even samples, just as a little thank you for getting you the orders. And then, but I did mention, and then I said, build your contact list to make sure you begin to reach out to people. Although one of my tips is don't reach out to your entire contact list in your first order. And the reason being because as you move through the Kickstart program, you have higher sales goals. And you have to realize that once somebody orders, they may not turn around and order again right away. And that being the case, you want to make sure that you're kind of pacing out, reaching out to your contacts. And the other thing is too, like kind of as you go along, you might realize, hey, wait a minute, I didn't think about that neighbor that I could talk to. So let me add them to my list. So you're going to constantly build your contact list, not just with your warm market, the people that you know, your friends and your families, your neighbor, you know, that kind of thing, but also just as you do different things to try to, you know, let people know that you're an Avon rep, you'll just continuously build your contact list. And the other thing is to, when you ask customers for referrals, that's another way to build your contact list. And then the sip and shop, I wanted to go into a little bit more detail because this is something new that Avon is talking about. Essentially, it's a party, but the idea is your friends meet you for coffee, or you might meet for wine or beer, your preference. Typically, it's wine. It would be wine or coffee, but I said the beer for the fact that, you know, there are people that maybe they like to go to breweries and that kind of thing. But anyway, you sip while you shop the brochures, and also they can maybe try samples and demo products, although the samples and products aren't necessary. But since you're getting stuff in your kit, you may want to go ahead and sample that out, what you can. Like I said, you can let people sample the full-size products as long as you can do it in a sanitary manner. So really what I'm thinking about with that is like lotions are easy to sample. Perfumes are easy to demo. That's the purpose of the demo, people to see it and touch it and feel it. So in your starter kit, as far as that's concerned, like I said, the perfumes and the lotions, and then as far as the, you know, skincare and that kind of thing, you really want to use the samples to sample that out. Although you can purchase little spatula things, or even Q-tips would probably be fine, as you know, as long as people aren't dipping their fingers into the product to try it out. So even like if you just had some Q-tips available, somebody might take some Q-tips and like put a little bit of Q-tip on the, you know, in the jar or whatever, to kind of just put a little bit on the back of their hand. That's how we sample skincare. You put a little bit on the back of your hand. And so, I mean, that's an option as well. Just make sure that you're kind of being, you know, monitoring that. And the other thing, as I said, it could be in a public place or someone's home, and make sure that they're inviting their friends. And obviously, be safe with a sip and shop. I'm going to go ahead and put that disclaimer in here. Be safe with the sip and shop. Yes, it's fun. Yes, you know, it's a great way to get people to get together with you. It's a great way. Even if you're inviting like one friend to your house and you tell that friend, hey, can you bring 2 friends with you? And then you're working, you know, with 3 people, but you're working a small party. And you know, depending on the situation, if it's at your home, I mean, it's your home. So if you have kids and they have kids, maybe they bring their kids and their kids can play while you're talking to the moms, and that's kind of thing. That's kind of the stuff that I think about with the sip and shop. And the other thing is with a pop-up event, this is something that is new too. But what it is basically you are in an establishment because you're there anyway. That's the idea. You know, and you may go to Starbucks or Panera or McDonald's or anywhere. But the idea is you're there anyway. You are a customer of that establishment, because you don't want to just walk in there and be like, hey, I'm here to sell my Avon. You'll be kicked out. Trust me. But if you go in there and you just happen to have some brochures in your bag, then, you know, you can go in there, you sit down, you know, you get your food or your coffee or whatever, you sit down and you start eating, and then you have, you know, you'll set the brochures kind of casually out on the table so people see them. And then, you know, if somebody comes over to you, you talk to them about it. It's another way for people to come to you that's a free event, is the idea of a pop-up that, you know, you're able to talk to them about Avon and your Avon business. And obviously seeing something like that, and especially, you know, if you're wearing like an Avon pen or anything like that, but you don't even have to be doing that. Just seeing the brochures will get people to come over to you. The other thing is too, some of those places like the fast food restaurants have like their play places and stuff. So if you have kids, you know, take advantage of that. Take your kids there, let them get some lunch or dinner or whatever, and have them go through the play place. And while you're in the play place, see if you can start up some conversations with the moms. And, you know, you want to do it in a casual way. So just kind of start talking to them. And then if you see a way that you can bridge to Avon, you can bridge to Avon. and offer them a brochure. And then also trying to, if when you're doing the pop-ups, particularly, the idea is getting new people to come to you. So you want to try to get contact information for those people. And so something that you may say for that is just, here's the brochure. Can I get in touch with you in a couple days to see, what you thought from what you saw? Or that's where utilizing samples can come in handy, because you can give them a sample of something and say that you want to follow up with them in a couple days to see what they think. You may get a couple of people that are like, no, I don't, no thanks. But you may also get people that say, sure, here's my phone number. And if they don't want to give you a phone number, see if they'll give you an email. And, so then that way you have some way to try to get in touch with them. But also, even if they say no, if they're taking the book and your book has your contact info on it, then they at least have your information to get in touch with you if they do want something. But the thing is, people do forget. And so that's where follow-up can really come in handy. And then, obviously, you're not going to continue to bug the same people over and over again. But follow-up is definitely key, and I'm finding that out more and more. And the other thing is to, as you go through your business, you want to make sure that your customers that you have are getting the books and that kind of thing. And maybe not every book, but at least every month or every other month. And you get to know your customers. You get to know how frequently they order. So, if you know it's somebody that's going to order every campaign, get them a book every campaign so they can order. If you know it's somebody that's going to order once a month, get them a book once a month so they can order, that kind of thing. So, and then I also mentioned the having your friends and family and people with you, because it's kind of awkward to be sitting there by yourself at a table eating and you just have these Avon books and people don't, that I think they would be more likely to approach you if somebody was with you than if you were alone. Not that you couldn't be successful alone, but I still think that it would be more likely that they would approach you if you had like your family and stuff. So if you can utilize that resource of family and friends and kids and that kind of thing, then utilize it. And then I also, as I said, because if nothing else, you're also spending time with that family or friend. And then I mentioned the laundromat idea, because a lot of times, like especially Saturdays and Sundays at the laundromat, it's a congregation. There's a lot of people there because a lot of people use that community resource. And so that's another place. And not to mention, but you have the wait time. You start your laundry and then you're waiting. I don't know that I would necessarily just go into a laundromat and sit without, again, being a customer of the establishment, but bring a blanket with you and wash it, or bring your towels or something, and put it through the the cycle in the dryer. And while you're there for the hour or however long you're there, strike up some conversations with the people on the laundromat. And obviously you can walk in and you'll see if it's crowded and worth it or not. But like I said, I would think that, well, I've seen Saturdays and Sundays and then like evenings and that kind of thing can be more crowded than like the middle of a regular day. And same with like, your restaurants and stuff. You want to go at those key times that people are trying to eat: lunchtime, breakfast, dinner. But you do want to make sure that you're being a customer, because it's kind of awkward if you're not. The other thing is, obviously, in any of these places, if you are asked to leave, apologize, say you're sorry, leave. But for the most part, I would think, as long as you're not like soliciting and bothering patrons, if you're just casually talking to people, like especially at the laundromat, if you're just casually talking to people, and like for that matter at the laundromat, you could have out one Avon brochure and kind of be flipping through it, and and either just be sitting there flipping through it, or even like maybe you find something like the fashion item, then you might say to the person next to you, hey, what do you think of this? Do you think I'd look good in that, or something like that? And then they might go, what is that? What is that book? Where is that from? And that's where you can easily bridge to Avon and be like, oh, this is an Avon brochure. And they may be like, Avon? I haven't seen Avon in years. The other thing is, a lot of times laundromats is a good place that you can actually leave a brochure. you know, they'll have their community information and stuff, and they usually are pretty good about letting you leave a brochure or a flyer or a business card or that kind of thing. And they don't necessarily, you know, say, hey, that's not okay. A few do. It will say like no soliciting, and if so, make sure you find one that doesn't say that. But most laundromats are pretty good about letting you have that community information. And again, that kind of thing, the casual is the key there. Be casual, because when you're trying to be too you know, pushy or salesy or solicity, then you know that's going to be what's going to be more likely to have you kicked out. But if you're just being casual and having a casual conversation with someone, then you have more chances of being successful. Now, the pop-up event is something that may or may not be successful, but it is a free way to get yourself out there and, you know, just practice talking to people and that kind of thing. So I do wish you luck in your business. I wish you luck in launching your business. I think that was my last slide, but I want to just, oh wait, there's one more. So you want to also start thinking about in your first campaign, the people that you know that could possibly be wanting to join Avon with you. Because part of the Kickstart process is that you bring on 3 team members to your team. Obviously, this is not mandatory, but if you're trying to achieve that Kickstart incentive, that's part of the Kickstart incentive, is to bring 3 people onto your team. And so part of the $1,000 is you get 40% as long as you're meeting those sales goals in your first 7 campaigns. And then when you bring on at least 3 people, you'll get an additional $150 if all 3 people place first or second orders of $150. And if they do that, then for each of them, you get a $50 bonus. So even if you bring on 3 people and like 2 place an order, then that's an extra $100. But if you bring on 3 people or more, but for any person that you bring on that does a first or second order of $150 in your first 90 days, you get that $50 bonus. After 90 days, you still get a bonus, but it's not $50. And then if you meet both goals of the sales and the recruiting and bringing on 3 people, then you get, well, not only will you start seeing earnings right away, but you'll get a bonus of $200 for meeting the Kickstart goals. And that gives you the $1,000 when we talk about earning $1,000 in 90 days. So the $1,000 is a combination of 3 things: the sales and meeting those goals and getting 40% earnings on everything, the bringing on at least 3 team members for that are placing first or second orders of 150 plus, and then you get a $50 bonus for each of those 3 people for a total of $150. And then if you do both of those, you get a $200 bonus for meeting your Kickstart goals. And then, so who do you know that might need extra money for their bills, for their kids, for vacation, etc.? Start thinking about who you know that could maybe be interested. And when you reach out to these people, don't let no thanks discourage you. And same with reaching out to people trying to get customers. Don't let no thanks discourage you. You have to just keep moving on and finding more people and asking. And a lot of times a no thanks in the beginning may not always be that way. At some point, if they see you continuing to do Avon, and if they see that you're enjoying what you're doing, then at some point they may come to you and say, hey, you know, can I get a brochure? Or they may come to you and say, hey, you know, that Avon thing, is it really working for you? You know, what's something that you've maybe been able to do with it? Because I need to have some money for Christmas gifts or whatever. So don't let no things discourage you. Just say, okay, I understand, and move on. You know, it's all in your approach. So, you know, obviously we want to get people to join us, but at the same time, it's all in our approach. So now I'm going to say, thank you so much for joining, and thank you for watching this. I hope you found this informative. I know it's a little bit on the longer side, but I really just wanted to go through all of these things with you, because I do feel that as a new rep, you know, the more information you have, the better. And also to, you know, Avon U does a really good job of breaking down everything that you need to know as a new rep. And so get out there, get sharing your Avon, you know, share the brochures, share your e-store, get some sales, and and also maybe get some team members. And it's okay if your first campaign you don't start bringing on people. That's perfectly fine. Go for the sales in your first campaign, but we do say to just kind of start thinking about who you may bring on in the first 90 days, for the fact that that way you can kind of start thinking about who might be interested. And I would think of more than just 3 people if you could, for the fact that not everybody's going to say yes. You're going to get no's. So, and the other thing is too, when you are approaching these people, it's important to be like, I just started my own business. I'm going for this goal of $1,000 in 90 days. And I thought of you for whatever reason, and so think about these reasons that I listed. Think about a reason that you may personally know someone that could use extra money and why they could use extra money. And, you can say, hey, I thought about the fact that you need money for fill in the blank. And I wanted to let you know that Avon, I just started my own Avon business, and they're offering you the opportunity to get $1,000 in 90 days. And I'm going for that, and let's do it together, kind of thing. And so again, you still may get no's, but the more you make it about that person and what they could do with their business, the more that you would have success in getting someone to say yes. And the key is not to necessarily, well, actually not to say, do you want to sell Avon? Because that turns people away. But if you say something like, do you need some extra money? And maybe you ask a few people that because you don't know if they need extra money or not. But you think of some of your friends and stuff, and you might say, hey, do you know, and actually, I wouldn't even just say, do you need extra money? Because that's kind of, I would say, do you know anyone that needs extra money? And then they might say to you, actually, I need some extra money because I need to do this, this, and this. And so you could say, hey, I have an opportunity for you, and then go from there. And that is it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. I do appreciate feedback, comments, emailing me, that kind of thing. If you're on my team, you've received a link to this video via email. So definitely email me back and give me some feedback, because the more feedback I get, the better I can try to improve my new representative training that I'm doing. And also, good luck with your Avon business, like I said, and I look forward to mentoring you and seeing you be successful with your business. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see everybody next time. Bye guys. Thanks again.